Brace yourself, my little demons, because this movie enraged me by its utter stupidity that it contains. No more celestial background for this video. This movie deserves the hellfire. Before we move further into this video, I'll tell you that it contains major spoiler for the movie. If you want to avoid them, just skip to this timestamp in the description. Although all my juicy rants and dissections of this movie are in the middle. And please, don't be like Devil, why not put good stuff in the end with other non-spoiler action? Well, because two things. First, this movie has most generic story that even spoilers won't spoil the movie for you. Second reason is that I make notes in chronological order so that you can get my actual reaction per scene. All of my main script for review part is in order, and just like a normal viewer, I have not seen what will unfold later in the movie. And I rarely change my script after watching the whole movie. That's enough chitter chatter, let's just jump into this pool of stupid. The movie starts with a badass agent doing weird stunts instead of shooting. Here, she punches the air. This is going to be a theme in this movie. The fight choreography is so bad. Heimdall walks in and no one notices him at all. Also, why are all of them facing one direction standing in a group? Aren't they supposed to secure the area? Let me guess, they are standing in this formation so that it is easier for Heimdall to beat all of them up. As the bullets have no effect on him, she has to take drastic measures to escape. As far as the opening scenes go, this one is okay. From the opening scene, we go to this split shot between Rock and Crank showing their routine. They very blatantly foreshadow Rock's family and past. I wonder if that's going to play a role in this movie. The answer is yes. Yes, it's going to take up 30 minutes of this movie. Also, there is this bad trope amongst movies where they want to add depth to a spin-off character by these "remember we used to do this when we were kids" exposition. Then out of freaking nowhere we get this scene with Ryan Reynolds and it is bad. I think Reynolds doesn't realize that acting and speaking like how he does in Deadpool only succeeds in saturating the market and hurt Deadpool in the long run. What I mean by that is he is very funny when shown in controlled manner, but if you flood the market with so much of the same over the top quippy dialogue delivered in same manner by Ryan Reynolds, audience is gonna get fed up with that sooner or later. Also, these scenes halt the progress of whole movie. Sound design of this movie is also weird. There is this interrogation scene where Rock out of nowhere asks this,
"Do you like to dance?"
And his whole interrogation procedure is that they are dancing, and if she gives wrong answer, then it's like her stepping on his toes in tango. What sort of interrogation technique is this? Is he going to annoy her into telling everything? Because The Rock isn't gonna physically harm her as he is the good guy. I'm not even kidding. She hit Rock with a bike helmet with all her strength and punched and kicked him for good 2 minutes and didn't even manage to get a single scratch on The Rock. But instead, she just hurt herself because The Rock is actually made of rocks, and if you punch him, you only break your own hand. The Rock is invincible in this movie. I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. So Rock leaves her to take a call and appoints this guy to watch over her. She obviously has taken her cuffs off and starts pummeling this little dude, and we get this stupid scenario where she slams him right into the glass and Rock doesn't hear it. This is stupid on so many levels. Let me break it down. First of all, this is an interrogation room set up with glass wall on all sides. You don't have to stand inside to watch over her. You can surveil her from outside. Plus, where is she even gonna go? This is like 80th floor of the building. Second, this area was where Rock and Crank first met in this movie. We are shown that this area is supervised. Third, even if this room was soundproof, which it is not, but let's say this area is soundproof and you can't hear anyone from other side, but you'll still hear the thud of this guy crashing into the glass because now the sound waves are traveling through a solid. You know why I'm sure that you'd be able to hear? Because this fucking movie has a scene about it.
And we'll talk through this.
And fourth, there is this guy sitting right there watching his mate getting beat up and didn't thought he should disturb Rock from his stupid phone call. They didn't put a single thought into this movie. They didn't even catch this while editing. Anyway, Heimdall arrives with a boom and takes away the girl. And these two run for cover as these morons start shooting. Not a single bullet hits them. They are directly in the line of fire and don't start running until the bad guys start shooting. What are these guys shooting at? They are trained attack team and can't shoot coverless people at 10 feet distance. That's fucking great. Right after displaying their disgraceful shooting skills, these guys just turn their back and start walking as if they are in a park. Did they forget they are in enemy headquarters? And also, these two are still alive. What the fuck kind of stupid people you have in your squads? I think their helmet is too tight and is squeezing their brains. Stupid helmet heads. And forget helmet heads. Even Crank forgot how to shoot. He has his gun aimed right at this helmet head, but instead of shooting, he does this. And then Rock decides to chase after them like this. Are you fucking kidding me? The friction would chew through his hand halfway through the distance. A fight ensues once they catch them down there. After some fighting, all three of them run away in a car. They find this scientist who made the deadly virus and tells them the only thing that can solve their problem is in the biggest enemy base. Why did they let the scientist go? I'd assume MI6 or CIA would want him so other people can't use him to produce the virus again. Then we get this long ass stupid scene on the plane that goes on forever. Even Kevin Hart shows up to stretch the scene even longer. Then I realized that this is not actually a movie. It's more like a compilation of skits, but somehow less funny. Meanwhile, Heimdall is trying to torture the scientist who apparently forgot how to act.
The human body's really not worth that much. Maybe 11 pence worth of magnesium, a couple of pence worth of calcium, a little bit of iron.
By this logic, paintings that sell for millions of dollars aren't worth anything because they don't have as much as minerals either. This is one of the stupidest thing I have ever heard. Value of humans is not how much minerals you can salvage from their body. It is so stupid that I'll use this as a benchmark to compare every other stupid thing from now on till the end of the time. And to make it one better, let's start an award for stupidity from now on. I'll call this Congrats, You're Stupid Award. And anything that comes close to this scene from this movie or any other movie will get this award. This is totally ripped from the movie Red, the scene where they meet Katya. Also, why is she reacting like that? She's supposed to be top MI6 operative and she's reacting like a schoolgirl. You remember that award we invented earlier called Congrats, You're Stupid Award? Well, this movie has another scene that deserves this award. So earlier they said they need retinal scan on both sides of the corridor to open this door. At first I thought, why isn't he opening their eyes for retinal scan? Then I thought it is some fucked up Asian joke about their eyes. I don't know for sure, but it did look like that. Also, if that's not it, then what's the joke here? Did Lele Pons wrote this script? They go to Samoa to Rock's home. Yay. Also, Rock taking his 3% team to his old stomping grounds when they have been declared enemy of the state. Where have I seen this premise before?
Wow. It's an actual pit.
It's my old stomping ground.
Rock says his brother can fix the machine. So you're telling me a car mechanic will fix a scientific equipment, not just any scientific equipment, a one-of-a-kind scientific equipment that only existed in Etion lab. He can fix that, okay? Of course, if Tony Stark, a humble mechanic, can invent time travel, why can't this one fix a puny machine? So we get a very quick background story about Rock's family. Now, as the bad guys are coming, we get this Kung Fu Panda 3-esque preparation by our good guys and their family for battle. And I don't know how much time they took to do all this. Like, I think Heimdall should have been right on their tail, but this montage looks like they have been at work for a week. Rock puts on a show and these guys again wait for them to finish before shooting. What the fuck is this bullshit? They should start with shooting and Rock could have done this ceremony before these guys arrived. It's not like he needed them for the ceremony. This scene looks very staged and exploitative to me. Also, why did they wait for so long to disarm the guns? What if someone started firing beforehand? Of course, all Samoan are good fighters, but these bad guys who are supposed to be highly trained and physically enhanced just run towards these good guys like drunk man. So in the middle of fighting, Hattie is having tunnel vision and sort of dizziness, maybe because the machine is draining blood out of her body. Anyway, she walks right to the enemy chopper, crossing the battlefield where Heimdall takes off with her. At this point, Heimdall is trying to fly away with the tow truck, but Rock's Usos suddenly join in and start daisy chaining their vehicles to the tow truck to stop it from being flown up.
Hell yeah, Usos!
It may look like a great plan, but it is very stupid and would not work if you think about it for a minute. Let me demonstrate that visually. Meet Rico. He is our in-house stuntman extraordinaire. He will demonstrate what will happen when a vehicle is being towed into the air. And now let's get back to this scene. You know why it would happen here instantly? Because Hobbs and Shaw are on the same side of the truck, and once it's off the ground, it will twist and go upside down because of the lopsided center of gravity of the vehicle. And before any of you say, but devil, he's also linked hook at the both wheels, because that won't work either. The hooks are attached to cables because the cables will just twist on each other instantly. Here's a thought, why didn't Heimdall just break the chain? He's certainly strong enough to do that, and better yet, why didn't he shoot a missile at them. Even Rico can do that simple thing. Here, problem solved. Apparently, Rock and Party had planted many IEDs that could even take out armored vehicles. Sure, why not?
The island will provide, brother.
And of course, the chain can take it no more and decides to part ways with the tow truck. But Rock is like, where the fuck do you think you are going? He grabs the chain and holds onto it. He is able to pull a helicopter. You remember this scene from Captain America Winter Soldier where Captain stops Bucky from taking off with the sheer strength of his muscles. He is superhuman and not to mention has full grip on both the pipes. And also he is superhuman. And in this movie, Rock can do this. In other words,
You in full return.
so all of them fall down at least 100 feet off the cliff into very shallow water. I mean ankle deep shallow. And come out relatively unscathed. And this girl is still hooked to that machine. With the way they took the tumble, the needle from the machine should have slashed her arm up. But nope, she's still pumping blood. Heimdall beats both of them to pulp, and the thing is, it looks as if both of them have been treated with the serum that made Captain America. These devastating shots by metal-filled man do a very little to keep them down. They don't even bleed at all. The hands that can do this can't even do any damage to these guys. And yeah, the whole movie of 2 hours long passed and now these guys are gonna work together. That's great. Such great screenwriting. A+ for no fucks given. But the thing is, what they do is actually wrong if we go by this movie's own logic, because earlier, as you saw, he could predict both of their movements. The only reason why Rock was able to hit him was because he did that from his blind spot. He hit him from behind. But now they throw that logic out of the window. Their beatings are finally showing effect on Heimdall. Unlike these two who are fit and fine as ever, even after taking beating from a man who can hit this hard. But then I realized these guys are heroes, just like we have in games. They can regenerate over and over until they destroy the big bad boss, who is stronger and has more life but also drops health that heroes can absorb to regenerate their health points. The movie ends, but not without setting up a sequel in a less obvious manner than Linus's sponsor segues. Finally, our heroes have defeated Black Superman and they have liberated this outpost. They go about talking shit to each other as credits start rolling. So to sum it all up, the story of this movie is very generic, which could have worked as people don't watch Fast and Furious movies for well thought out plots and storyline. But the amount of carelessness towards action choreography and simple things just made it all worse for me. Also, the 2-hour long runtime didn't help either, because the movie has so many scenes that could have been taken out to make it around 90 minutes or so. The scenes where they are insulting each other are like those not to laugh challenges celebrity edition videos you see on YouTube. They severely halted the pacing of the movie. Scenes with Ryan Reynolds are same. They could have been much shorter. And scenes with Kevin Hart are totally irrelevant to the story of the movie. It could have been anyone from their time in sort of work they do who could have flown them to Samoa. It being Kevin Hart was just them putting one more celebrity in the mix. Also, the story had so many elements that were taken straight out of other movies, which makes this one seem unoriginal a bit. Apart from fight choreography and character not shooting a target right in front of them, we have the problem of Hobbs and Shaw being invincible. No matter how much beating they get from the cyborg, they walked away relatively unscathed. Attacks or falls that should have broken their ribs or severely injured them do virtually no harm to them, which totally kills the stake in this movie, because you know nothing can hurt these characters. They don't just have a regular plot armor, they have cartoon level plot armor where even falling off a cliff is nothing. For its $200 million budget, it only grossed about $173 million in US, which tells you the story. Although its net gross is around $760 million due to foreign gross, which is great, but I think Ralph the movie maker talked about this in his Transformers review. He said that these dumb action movies are catered to China, where they don't understand or even care for the plot. All they wanna see is over the top action, which this movie sort of delivers. Anyway, I rate this movie 4 out of 10. So guys, this time I released an honest trailer style teaser for this review. If you guys like me to do it for other reviews in future, just leave your opinions in the comments. Like, dislike, however you felt about this video. Subscribe, because that's the easiest way you can support my content. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.